Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. As I said, it was going to be a close one. It's almost there. Who you think? The winds are blowing. So guess what? We're going to check it out. We're going to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. So we're right there at the almost at the end, you know. So all the votes are almost in. So we're gonna chime in right now and check it out, see what's going on. I'm gonna put it on my screen and see what has transpired over the last couple of minutes. Let's see. It is not as a lot of people expected. It is not, ladies and gentlemen. It's so close, but yep.
Southeast. And the PNP's Christopher Brown has taken this with 6,642. He has defeated the incumbent Jamaica Labour Party's Norman Dunn, 6,631. And that is an 11 vote difference. Got it right that time.
We'll pause on that because
just 1 second. Mark Hutchinson of the JPP polled 26 votes.
I'm almost sure this is the second time for an 11 vote win in St. Mary, Southeastern. Didn't Dr. Winston Green win by 11
very small. If you remember, I said that this could be one of the elections that one of the three other registered parties could make a difference. So, wow, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is one to watch. You know, this is not good for the Prime Minister right now if he loses his seat. I'm telling you, this is so close, but we're watching. We're watching, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to each and every one, wherever you are, where you're watching from, anywhere in the world. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. Also, you can comment and you can call in and we can discuss this, but we're right there at the tail end here of the counting, and this is so close. It is so close, ladies and gentlemen, but let's see what happens when the final count is done. So we're almost there, and we're here at Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show, to ride that wave all the way to the end. So check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. It's getting there. Oh yeah. So let's go back to
608 votes. Just a reminder for our viewers, for our listeners, you'll hear me, all of us, we're here reading out the counts. That is because we are live on not just radio, but also not just TV, not just the internet, but also radio. So we are accommodating our radio listeners as well. And we thank you all so much for being here with us, wherever it is in the world you are joining us from. We know we have a huge following in the diaspora. We're happy to have you here with us as well. So that one, that still looks like only about 50% gone there. And I know we had heard that Paul Patmore was
likely to do well.
Yes, yes. But we'll see what happens when the final numbers come in there. So I would ask you, Earl, is there anything that has surprised you so far?
No, I expected it to be very close.
Yes.
And therefore, I'm not surprised at how close it has turned out to be. I think for many persons, the fact that with 18 boxes left in West Central St. Andrew, that the Prime Minister is, at least by what we have seen, trailing at the moment. But there are still 18 boxes to go, so he could very well, bring it home still.
One of the things our listeners and viewers will have heard throughout the night is you will hear one of the panelists saying something like, it depends where the boxes are coming from. So in other words, we might have one candidate leading in a particular constituency, but if the boxes left to come in are coming from a stronghold of the other party, then you could see that result turn inside out. And that's basically what it is we're kind of seeing happening throughout the night. Sometimes you see the seesawing of the votes going between the two candidates. A lot of the times that's what's taking place. Okay. So now the issue in relation to what happens as soon as this is over, as we've said, the party the party that is declared the victory. We're going to be declared the victor. We're going to expect to hear, because of course, viewers and listeners, we are going to be with you until the end. So we are going to be waiting to hear whoever gives their victory speech, whoever gives their concession speech. And we were talking the other night, Earl, about a night, in fact, when there was no concession speech.
Yes, and that was 2007. I think it was 2007. It was that close, and Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller did not concede that night. They were awaiting some recounts, but by the next day, it was clear that the JLP had won.
Just as though the JLP will win tonight again.
So, well, we.
So you all actually prepare 2 speeches. We're here, you have to have 2 speeches, or our people just come out and talk.
Well, I wouldn't know, but I'm sure that the leader of the Labour Party would have prepared 1 speech, because from the get-go, it was clear that Jamaicans would choose Jamaica, and we're seeing it tonight.
Okay, you never stop. You don't stop. You don't stop. Clifford, come.
I'm just curious, are they choosing Jamaica? Because from what I'm seeing, the PNP has gained massive ground in this election, regardless of who becomes the Prime Minister. I think that's one thing that the PNP should tap on his shoulder.
This is a sport, right? This is a sport. You have to have a winner. You have to have a loser. Tonight, you're the loser.
And clearly, the most honored Andrew Holness would not be the winner in this situation. Well,
of course, he's leading the Labour Party to victory.
St. Anne Southwest declared for Xavier Main, and we previously declared the previous seat, which kind of went fast.
Crystal
Lee.
And Danishka.
Right, declared
Danishka Williams.
for, there we go, declared for Crystal Lee of the Jamaica Labour Party. 8,050 votes to 7,488 for Gabriella Morris of the People's National Party.
Right.
Gabriella Morris had been a senator, throwing her hat here into the representational ring. So coming up short this time around.
This means there's no change at all in St. Anne. The PNP went in with Southeast, which is their bastion. They've held that. This is Lisa Hannah's seat, Foggy Mullins' old seat, crucial to the PNP base. Northeast St. Anne, which is Shahini Robinson's old seat, has been held by Matthew Samuda. St. Anne Northwest, Crystal Lee won that in 2020, and she has retained it, fought off the challenge by Gabriella Morris. And then St. Anne Southwest, that's the Xavier Main seat that he has also held, that particular one. So there's no change between 2020 and 2025 in St. Anne.
So here's a question now. So let's assume, just for argument's sake for the moment, that the trend does hold. The JLP takes the election. What does this mean, first of all, for Mark Golding as leader of the PNP?
For him to have taken the PNP from the position in which he succeeded to the leadership, to them coming so close to winning this election, unless he volunteers to go, I think the PNP would have to think very carefully whether they would want to have another disruption in the party's cohesion about the leadership. But that's for him and the party to decide, I suppose.
Yeah, Emily?
Yeah, there are a couple ways that I will look at this. I keep saying that 2020 was an electoral anomaly. It still is in many respects. So that what has emerged from 2020 is that the people are willing to re-elect a very hard-working member of parliament, even if that member of parliament started out as an anomaly in 2020, but they've continued to doing good work. So I say this, so I believe Rhoda Moore Crawford, I believe Crystal Lee, and Tova Hamilton, who has some issues. She has clearly rebalanced them. And perhaps it is setting a new sort of trend. If we look at it that way, then perhaps for Mark Golding and the PNP, they shouldn't be so swift to seek to discard him, because they're coming from a point where Dr. Peter Phillips was perhaps deemed to be an individual who could not take the PNP to where the PNP is at this time.
A lot of people hadn't thought Golding would be able to cross the line at all.
Right.
Can I just jump in on you and say that I'm hearing that the official voter turnout has come in at 38.8%,
which
is bad.
That is 1% above the COVID year.
Yes.
And I certainly, based on the crowds I saw and the anticipation, I thought we were heading to a 55% voter turnout. So I don't know what has gone wrong, why so many people have not, but that is something we said we should study again, as we said at the start of the program.
Yeah. May I take you back to the question of Mark Golding's future in the PNP as leader? We have got to the point now where, so he's 60 this year. If they go to the full term, this incoming administration, he would then be 65. I think more and more voters are not looking too kindly in the Jamaican context at someone taking the reins of government heading towards 70. And I think that might, despite what I said earlier, it may be one of the things that they will consider when deciding whether to stick with the leader or seek a younger person to take them forward.
We're going back to EOJ now with Kalisha.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Thank you so much, Dion. So we're almost there. 99% of all the boxes counted. And what I'm seeing behind me, the latest figure just refreshed, the People's National Party leading in 30 constituencies, the Jamaica Labour Party leading in 33. Now, I'm going to tell you the areas where we're still waiting on all the boxes to be completed. St. Andrew West Central, 83%. The People's National Party leading in that area. Going down now to St. Andrew East Rural, the St. Andrew East Rural, where the Jamaica Labour Party is leading in that constituency. Trelawney Southern, 78% of all boxes counted, and the Jamaica Labour Party is leading in that constituency. Moving over now to Clarendon Northern, 97% of all the boxes counted, and we're seeing where the Jamaica Labour Party, is trailing in that constituency in Clarendon Northern. We're going down, I think that is it in terms of the progress report for all the constituencies so far. So we're waiting just on a few more constituencies to go. We're seeing where Trelawney Southern, that's the one where we're having only 70%, just over 70% of all the boxes counted in that constituency as well, Dion. So we're seeing another change, Dion. I tell you, the things can change quite quickly here at the ECJ. I'm seeing now where the Jamaica Labour Party is leading in 34 constituencies, and the People's National Party is leading in 29 constituencies. And as I said, we're almost at the finish line. It's back to you.
Thank you so much, Kalisha. Great work that you have been doing for us throughout the night. And as you're saying, they just about an inch there from the finish line. So the whole issue now, in terms of the extremely close seats, I think it's two we've seen.
Yes, two so far.
Yeah.
The Central Kingston and the
Southeast
St. Mary, which is, I mean, there have been elections where we've seen quite a few more that have been very, very close. But we were talking there about the voter turnout because, again, this suggests that neither party is exciting the electorate beyond your narrow base. If we can't even get to 4 out of 10 registered voters deciding to come out to vote.
Well, I had said on other occasions that if the voter turnout was high, then the PNP would take it. The voter turnout is low, 33%. That's what they're reporting. That means this is going to be a tight race. Mark Golding has retained his seats. I'm not too sure about the Prime Minister Honus. However, the seats that are undecided at this point, tells a story, and you can see that those who put in the work got the results. So whichever way it goes, one thing is guaranteed, that the country is divided, and with a divided country, whosoever leads the country has a monumental job to get the country back together in a cohesive way. So we're waiting here, ladies and gentlemen. 3129. It's still early days yet. There's a lot of votes left to count in the different constituencies. So we'll see. It's still close and early days yet. So let's continue to watch as the numbers come in, and we'll see how those pan out. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue here.
And on top of that, all of the challenges.
Hold on, Emily. Here's an update. 93 boxes of 105 in the Prime Minister's constituency. He's now ahead here. 5,387 votes to Paul Buchanan of the PNP, 4,904. So 93 boxes, so that is 5 and 7, which is 12 boxes left to count.
Disciples.
Never in those.
No, I can visualize Desmond McKenzie wiping the Prime Minister's face with the change in the set, because that must have been a moment. Paul Buchanan did say he's going to unseat Andrew Holness, and he has come pretty close, but things are changing. Yeah. Trelawney South, I think we had a look at that before.
Declared.
No, it's declared.
Yes.
So that's reverted to the norm.
That was
in terms of expectations.
That is Marissa Dalrymple Philibert.
That's 32.
Parliament. She resigned. She went back. She won the seat by
32,
election.
ladies and gentlemen.
They call her Mama down there for
Mama
good
D.
reasons, Mama D.
Mama D.
And she's back.
She has delivered
Yes.
once again.
But I'm saying the context of this election is that it's an historical first for the JLP. And there is a third term syndrome. As we look at West Central, St. James, where Marlene Malahoo fought.
I do believe that there's one seat that the one of the other registered parties could flip. If I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think it's all it's declared yet. So let's check this out.
Really shouldn't be able to recover from that and to even win a third term with all of those conditions prevailing. So I think when the history books are written, there are a lot of pluses that have to go to the JLP, a lot of pluses too to Mark Golding for bringing back the PNP from near virtual electoral dead to making them reclaim some of the seats that they lost in 2020.
I think we're seeing live pictures here of the JLP headquarters.
Yes.
So we're waiting to go back to the headquarters and to hear what's happening. Of course, as soon as the various leaders are ready to speak, we'll have that live for you as well.
And by the way, if indeed the turnout for this election is only 1% above 2020, it also says something about the significance of the PNP's move from 14 seats last time to 29 or thereabouts this time. It would seem, therefore, that the PNP has recovered a significant portion of the vote.
Because when you looked at the numbers, between 2016 and 2020, yes, the voting was down and people are saying COVID and so on. But when you looked at the actual numbers, the PNP had lost 127,000 voters. The JLP had lost only about 28,000.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, there were some constituencies in which the JLP actually managed to increase its vote count. Is this the same number? Or it gone
No,
up?
it has gone up.
97 votes, 97 boxes here out of 105. Andrew Holness of the JLP, 5,989. Paul Buchanan of the PNP, 4,923.
Right. And I think a story will have to be told as well about this comeuppance with the 3rd of September. Because it was the 3rd of September 2007.
Yes.
3rd of September 2020. what, 16,
16, yes.
2020,
2020,
2020 rather,
2020.
and now the 3rd of September 2025, which is the first.
Mind we get ourselves into a cycle where every 3rd of September
is probably talking fixed election day, but it will be the 3/3 of September for the first third term for the GLP.
Just to say, this seat has now been declared for Prime Minister Andrew.
As expected, as expected.
You did say that.
Very good run, Mr. Buchanan. Very good run, Paul Buchanan. You did promise you'd beat Andrew Holness, and you came pretty close to that, because I didn't even look at West Central in my calculation because I thought it was a done deal. But he's done well. Yeah?
Clifford, you ready to concede it? There has to be a point.
I think regardless of who becomes the Prime Minister, who walks into Gordon House as government, the PNP has done amazing tonight in many different ways. Coming from where we were at with 40, with our broken base, the part that was in ruins. I think Mark Golding and Dayton Campbell has done well in bringing back the party and has represented what the PNP is to the Jamaican people, and has sold the PNP to many people as well. Because as I said before, the whole country in general has signaled that they want some sort of change, whether it is from the MP level or whether it's from the national level. They want to see some sort of change.
But still with only 38% of the vote.
There are various accounts for that, like the mishap with today and the growing trend of voter apathy. But in general, people want to see some level of change.
I think what the Jamaican people want is to continue with the Labour Party. When you look at what has happened since 2016 until now.
Sorry, hold on. The voter turnout doesn't support that, because what you have is the mass 62% of registered voters who never came out at all. Right. So that's if 3 out of 4 registered voters came out, 6 out of 10 didn't come out. Now, when I did the math in 2020, when we had about the same voter turnout, when you actually looked at how many people had voted for the party in power, which is a JLP, it was actually only 20% of registered voters. So because the voter turnout is so low, you're essentially a minority government in terms of support from the voting public as a whole. So it's one thing to say, yes, we won, but surely it must be sobering. So that's why I'm taking issue with you saying this is what the people wanted, because in fact, it's a minority who have put you into power. I know it's winner takes all and first past the post.
I agree, but at the same time, it is the persons who come out to vote. Yes. So what we have.
Stop right there. That's the point, Listen to what you just said. The persons who came out to vote, most people didn't. So what that means is that most people didn't want either of you. So what does that say about how you relate to them and how you relate to the country?
And that's where I'm going. Okay. I think that is what we have to do as political parties. We have to engage. We have to find new strategies to engage the Jamaican people. And that is something that we, as a political
Jamaican youth travels, yes. I must
start to look at.
I must agree with you.
Cannot continue at 37. I think it was about 37 point something last election, and now it's at 38.
I do believe congratulations are in order. Big up to Jamaican youth travels. So we cannot. We see 33-29. So it's a 33% voter turnout. So that's nothing to really go jumping and celebrating about. One thing is for sure, 66 or 67% of the voter base have not yet or did not turn up to vote, and that's not a good sign. So therefore, even then, at this close, seeing this close of a race to the finish line, it's a divided country, and the leader has to bring the country together and also motivate the rest of the 67% that did not vote to trust in the leadership. So it is an uphill battle, no matter how you look at it. So, but I do believe at 33-29, I don't think we can guess who's the winner. So let's see who's been declared here. Let's listen in a little bit more. I think it's foregone conclusion at this point, and let's hear what's going on.
Were you always a JLP supporter?
Yeah, well, from the time I started following politics, I became a JLP supporter because I vote based on policies and not family lines and traditions. So I'm not a die-hearted comrade or a die-hearted JLP. I vote based on policies and the history of Jamaica's politics as well. So the JLP has always been better in terms of managing the economy. The JLP is founded out of a need to support the working class. I am a working class. I'm looking forward to climb that corporate ladder. And the JLP has statistically in history done better for working class and for the economy. So I had to support the JLP.
So I guess the doubling of the Andrew pull a fast one. I think Andrew pull a fast one, and let's go back in and hear what's going on.
Thank you so much, Andrew. So let me just go back to the voter turnout issue and give our listeners and our viewers a sense of where we're coming from. Just to remind you, you're watching TVJ's live coverage of the 2025 general election. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Thank you all so much for staying with us across the platforms, on radio, on TV, on YouTube, on onespotmedia.com. Those of you here at home and those of you abroad, we are happy to have had you, and we hope you continue to us. We're taking right till the end of tonight. All right, so if we just look at the later years, because we know, earlier and all kind of things that go on. So if we look at from 96, let's choose 97. That was a 65% voter turnout, right? 2002, we were down to 59%. 2007 was 61. 2011, we're at 53%. 2016, as I said, the first year we fell below 50% with 48%, and 2020, 35%, and now 2025, 38% voter turnout, only 4 in every 10 registered voters bothering to come out and vote. Emily was saying something before we pause, saying she's not sure what else we can do. But Emily, my view has always been, I have never thought that the two major parties have seriously tried to attract anybody other than their base. When you even look at the campaigning, what is the campaigning? It's under the point, orange and green and make noise on the campaign trail. It's fun to watch. It really is. But for people who are not inclined to join in the carnival and the singing of the songs and whatever, and want serious engagement, what's that?
Carnival of the absurd.
For people who are not looking for that, I have not seen either party making any serious attempt to pull in everybody else.
But let me try and respond to it. I don't know the answer to all of that, but the numbers can't be quoted in a vacuum. When we were at 1997 with 65.22%, there was 1.1 million voters on the list. In 2002 with 59.4, there was 1.3 million. In 2007 with 61.4, there was 1.336 million. For whatever reason, in 2016, we jumped to 1.8 million people on this voters list. 1.8 million in a population of approximately 3 million. And in September 2020, we're at 1.9. This election, we're 2.07. Where so much people come from on the list when we have 3 million people in Jamaica? Is the list completely clean of dead people? And are there dead people on the list who can't make it? And so the voter turnout will never be larger than it is because we have a ballooning list for hundreds of thousands of people that we need to double check. I don't understand it. And the reason I'm asking this question tonight is because I have been watching elections since 1980. This is the first election. I'm seeing such fervor and energy. Every man and them dog. Every animal in the house energized.
Hold the man and the dog for me. Let's just go to the break. I'm told the updated voter turnout figure, 39.33%. 39.33%. And we're back right after this.
So as we as we wait for the commentators to come back, There's a lot. The point that is made that the voters list has to be purged is a credible one, but there are a lot of other factors that you have to factor in as well. However, you have to look at the numbers of voters compared to those who are registered to see what the difference is, or has it increased over the number of elections in terms of the number of people voting and what number that is in comparison to the registration of voters, and see what the difference is, and then you can have a better idea whether or not it's a compelling argument that the voters registration list needs to be purged to see who's alive, who's dead, who's not on the island, and so on and so forth. It's still you've got to also remember that there's a lot of other youngsters entering the voting arena because they've come of voting age, and they're also registered. And what is the propensity of those youngsters to actually go to the polling station or the voting station to vote? You have also those who are retired, they're elderly and so on. And we have someone. Hold on a second. Let me bring in my companion here. Hold on. Hey, yes, sir. You're live. You're live. You're live. You're live, Mr. Sir Dragon. You're live.
Well, I'm going to Sergi.
Yes, man. I can hear you. Yes, your party win. Yes, man. Blessing, blessing, blessing. Congratulations, congratulations. But we're
Yeah, but I'm not just about this. I've gone with energy more better.
Well, I can understand, my brother. I have to go back to regular programming because I'm live, and you're live on the show. So I'm
Okay,
gonna.
live. Okay.
Yeah, you're being.
What do you think?
Yes, man. All right. Blessing, blessing.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah. So let's get back to our screen here.
Or any endowment or any trust fund anywhere. Whatever I have worked hard and honestly for it.
All right. So while that is going on, let's go back to what I was saying, that when it comes to the voters list, there's a lot of nuances to look at in terms of those new voters that entered the voters list, and also the ones that have retired, and also those who have passed away or migrated. So the list, I believe, is transient, and we have enough years to say that it's the voter makeup in terms of the youths, the working class, those who are elderly, those who have passed away and migrated. It's really transient. So at 33% of the voters turning out, it is still not a good look in terms of the party that has won, and also the party that did not win. 'Cause it's kind of a break even. You know what I mean? So it's a divided country, and we'd like to know what was the compelling reason why a lot of these voters did not turn out. 33% does not look good. I mean, both parties, or all the parties that were registered, I don't believe they did a good job in terms of reaching the heart of Jamaica. There's so much people who are disgruntled with the whole political system, and those who are running this politics business. Because if you look at it, a lot of the roads have not been worked on. You know, people are still suffering from water loss. Farmers are disgruntled because you know they can't see a headway, and there's nothing to really celebrate at this point about a victory because 67% of the country did not vote. Whichever way you want to look at it, you know, the average voter turnout is 33%. That's not a good look. If we had over 50% turning out, then I'd be having a different conversation. But right now, at 33% of the voter base, or the registered voters turning out to vote, there's not a lot of enthusiasm, even though when you look at all the cameras that were shining on all the events, it would appear that the voter turnout would have been more than 33%. However, we got to remember that we have better technology now. You know, back to election cycles ago, it was a little bit different. You know, I mean, even though the technology was evolving, for election cycles ago, you did not see a lot more than what the major television networks in Jamaica would have shown you. But now there's phones with cameras all over the place, you know, shining a light and a camera on what's going on. And it would appear in this election cycle that it would appear that you had a lot of people more enthusiastic than years ago, which the actual number does not show that at 30%, 33% turnout. You know, so I'm it's nothing to really celebrate right now. I don't see it. Let's see, Robert Thomas. Yes, him says shower. Yeah, big up yourself, Robert Thomas. Yeah, and finger red number one, Berlin. Big up yourself again. Yes, amazing. Yes, we're gonna say, you know, congratulations are in order for the Jamaica Labour Party. They have an uphill battle right now to service the people of Jamaica with a divided country and a divided parliament. It's going to be an uphill battle for him, and also it does not sit too well going into the next cycle or term, and it's something to be reckoned with because over the next 4 years, there's a lot of promises that were made, and especially when he talked about the doubling of the minimum wage, that could have, you know, been the clincher for for Andrew, um, which I do not believe it can be realized if you understand economics and also how business works. Um, that could be detrimental to a lot of the people of Jamaica. And right now, let's go back to the programming here. While let's see what's going on here.
Okay,
Okay.
so you're watching there a live feed from PNP headquarters. You can see that the president of the PNP, Mark Jefferson Golding, is getting ready to speak. As soon as he starts to speak, we'll go back. Let me just remind you, you're watching TVJ's live coverage of the 2025 elections. And with me all had from the RGR Gleaner Group, Emily Shields, as well as Earl Moxham, and with us as well from the PNP YO, we've had Clifford James and Ron Walsh from Young Jamaica, the affiliate. Let's go over to PNP headquarters.
Comrade General Secretary, comrade officers, all of the comrades on the platform. all the comrades in the audience, all the people of Jamaica who are listening, watching. First of all, I think it's my duty as a believer in democracy to acknowledge and concede the result and to congratulate our opponents, Jamaica Labour Party, for their victory tonight. Jamaica's democracy is important and we must cherish it. Sometimes it brings bitter disappointments. Sometimes those disappointments are laced with a tinge of a sense that not all is fair and just, but it is very, very important that we put democracy ahead of all of those feelings. And I accept the result of these elections. And although obviously I'm very disappointed in the outcome, I think it is only correct to expressly acknowledge the success that our opponents have managed to gain today. I want to thank a lot of people. And first of all, I have to thank the comrades and supporters of South St. Andrew for standing with me, for coming out today in their numbers, and for giving us a decisive victory in the constituency, which I have the honor to serve. I also want to thank our campaign team, led by our campaign director, our general secretary, Dayton Campbell. Also, a newly minted member of parliament. Congratulations to him on his victory in East and Westmoreland. And all the other members of the campaign team who worked with him. There are a number of names there. I don't want to attempt to go through all those names because I'm going to probably forget somebody and then I'll regret it. But they have done a tremendous job. The communications team, I want to thank them publicly for the work they have done. And that is a night and day kind of job. Starts very early in the morning and goes on till late at night. So their commitment to the task at hand is remarkable, and I want to thank them deeply for it. All of our candidates who ran in this election and their campaign teams, I want to thank them for their effort, for their commitment to the country, to the democratic process. I want to, of course, congratulate the 29 who have been successful tonight. And we have more than doubled our number of MPs tonight. And for those who were not first and didn't, they still committed themselves extremely well. And I want to say that this was a wonderful demonstration of the maturity of Jamaica's political process, that we could go through such a closely fought election without any violence to speak of. Because that was not always the case. And I want to just thank all of the pioneers who led that process to where it is today, where I think we can safely say that Jamaica is a place that really cherishes and respects the democracy that we have built. I want to thank the people of Jamaica for having received us so well and having given us hundreds of thousands of votes and given us 29 seats. We don't take that for granted. We thank you for your time today. I know the voting was often painfully slow, and that's an issue which more will have to be said about, because it's an undemocratic situation when people, elderly and other people, have to be in the hot sun lining up to vote for sometimes hours. And it should not be that way. We should do better, and we have to do better. I must tell you that I'm proud of the platform that we put forward for the people of Jamaica. It was a truly progressive platform, a platform that offered a radical reform to the land tenure issues that have plagued this country for centuries. A radical platform that would have enhanced the standard of living and quality of life of those working families that are struggling to survive now by giving them significantly lower tax burdens on their income. Progressive in a social justice sense as well, around issues such as beach reform, contract work, and other things which really need to be addressed because there are injustices in our society which cannot be tolerated and should be modified and rejected in their current form. So I just want to thank all of the team that came together and developed those ideas and put them forward boldly and without reticence. And I think that for many Jamaicans, they saw the benefits and the power that that platform and those ideas and proposals would have delivered. So ladies and gentlemen, for us, it's a difficult night. This is not an easy speech to make. You know, one doesn't want to, one wasn't hoping for a result which is not success. And it means that the government will get its third term and we will have as a nation to deal with that going forward. But the People's National Party, I'm happy to tell you, is alive and well, is a powerful political organization. And has embraced modernity in its methods and has definitely, I think, over the last few years, come a long way towards being a competitive political force in Jamaica. And as the General Secretary said, the work begins right away to prepare ourselves for the next opportunity to offer ourselves to serve the nation in government. And I believe the people will, in due course, give us that chance. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, the word is love. Power to the people. God bless you all. Thank you for
President of the People's National Party, Mark Golding, giving his concession speech. The final seat count, 34 seats to the Jamaica Labour Party, 29. You know, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that in case I mislead anyone. Just to remind everybody that what has been done tonight is a preliminary count. So the seat count at the end of the preliminary count is 34 for the Jamaica Labour Party, 29 for the People's National Party. The final count is going to take place, and then we're expecting, certainly in at least those two constituencies in which we saw razor-thin margins of about 11 and 12 votes, we are expecting those to go to Manchester recount, and then we'll see what happens after that. We are seeing on screen the Prime Minister at JLP headquarters, seeing there a jubilant Desmond McKenzie on the mic as well, seeing Delroy Chuck, and we will be handing over to the JLP headquarters soon as well. Babsy Grange, and you can...
Horace Chang.
Horace Chang, I saw Kamina Johnson Smith there as well.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And we're witnessing for the first time in contested elections a Jamaica Labour Party government that is having a third term. They had two terms between 1980 and 1983 was uncontested, and they faced the possibility of a third term in 1989, but 83 being uncontested. This is the first contested third consecutive term that they have won, and this says something about the organization as well, with all of the challenges that this particular man had, and all that he was made to answer for, some of which will continue after this election, and no doubt intensify because of the increased numbers on the opposition benches in the House of Parliament. So it does promise to be an interesting parliamentary year.
There's something else very interesting to the Andrew Holness story. in addition to getting a third successive term as prime minister, he also had that very small term from October 23, 2011 to
29th of December.
actually to the 5th of January when he handed off to Professor Simpson Middle.
Just to remind our listeners and viewers, what Earl is referring to there is the fact that Bruce Golding, former Prime Minister, stepped down as Prime Minister. Andrew Holness was elected Prime Minister by his colleagues in Parliament.
By agreement, yes.
Yes, I was trying to find the right word. Thank you so much, Emily. By his colleagues in Parliament, and on that occasion, he gave in to the call from the People's National Party to call an early election, which he lost. But he certainly, in the meantime, regrouped. And you could see his political growth during that time in opposition.
And had he not survived that challenge in 2013, he would have gone into obscurity.
That's where I was getting to, because, you know, leader.
Sorry, challenge, remember?
Challenge internal from Audit.
Yes. Leader at the party just after the Mr. Golden stepped aside, and of course there was some chaos inside the political movement. He navigated those difficult times, but not only that, he has really structured and organized this political party into a modern political party. 2013, challenge for leadership. 2016, won the election. 2020, massive landslide victory, right? 2025, again, Andrew Holness has led the Jamaica Labour Party to yet another election.
Okay, I know Clifford, we need to bring in Clifford, but before that, let me go back to Janella to show us what Gordon House will now be looking like.
Thank you so much, Dion. Well, when we started this broadcast, in fact, leading up to today's election, it was 49-14, but after the ballots have been counted, it is 34-29. Now, will Gordon House continue to look like this after the magisterial recount? Well, we will just have to wait and see, Dion. Until then, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Janella. As we've been saying, one thing is for sure, we're seeing a much more balanced parliament and likely to be all the better for it. Clifford, your comment on listening to Mark Golding there.
I think though we may have lost, I think a lot should be credited to him and Dayton Campbell. We have brought back what the PNP was, a unified party, a strong party, a competitive party there in the elections. So I think there's a lot to tap on our shoulders. We've moved from 14 to now 29 seats. That's a lot to do in this short span of time, especially coming out of a very serious leadership challenge. And, you know, many things mounted against him. I mean, especially in multiple seats where we have past members who are going against current PNP challenges in these seats as well. So I think there's a lot to be glad for as a comrade myself. But there's a lot of work to be done, but I don't think we're in a bad position now. We may not have formed the government, but I think we're in a good place. I think what the party should do now is not to go back to where it was in that 2016 time after we had lost then. I think now we should work our way out and just move forward.
Well, the party hasn't shown that it can manage leadership challenges very well, though. I mean, the last is what, 3? Just ripped you apart.
That's something I hope we have learned. And I'm now going to apply, you know, a different metric of how we take on successions, if there's any, or if any is even required at this point in time.
Okay. But you feel how?
Is that I feel?
How you feel?
Corey, now?
Yeah.
I feel good. We have moved from 40 to 29 seats.
Okay. Mr. Golding's concession speech, Earl, is always something that's important.
Very important. I think he struck some right notes. It was a bruising campaign, and you know, hard words were exchanged, and so I think it will take time for some sort of, you know, cooling of some of the feelings between the two parties and the two leaders. But he did what was expected of him under these circumstances, and it is in keeping with Jamaica's democratic traditions that we do that. In fact, we have done better than the United States sometimes in that respect.
All right, so we're still waiting to join the Prime Minister to hear his victory speech, but let's go to another break. We'll soon come.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, while we're waiting for the Prime Minister to come and make his victory speech, hopefully he'll do it tonight. There's a magisterial recount because there's a lot of seats that were extremely close. So we'll see if the makeup remains the same. There's a margin of error, but however, at this point, congratulations are in order for the Jamaica Labour Party. The initial count shows that they retained 34 seats, and the PNP increased to 29 seats. So we also say congratulations to Mark Golding for a well fought election. And now that we see that the country is divided, and it's divided in many ways, because when we look at the voter turnout, it was 33%, so 67% did not vote. What the makeup of that 67% is still the jury's still out on that. So the jury's out on this, that those 67%. Some are saying some of them have died, and some are not on the island, or there's a lot of saying going around that the voter list needs to be purged, which we can understand that. But at 67%, how much of that, how much purging is going to change the dynamics of what had happened in this election? As you can see, for the 33% that turned out, it's extremely close. So this divided country needs to be healed, and healed quickly, because there's a lot of disappointments and disgruntlement among many classes of the population. So therefore, it is nothing to really be jubilant about. However, a win is a win. I can understand that. And with Mr. Andrew Honus making those um, huge announcements on the last, on just a couple hours before the election, he has to live up to those promises. So there's a lot here that we're gonna have to watch in the coming days. So big up Sharon. It's a respect Marky G every time. Yeah, big deal. He did a great job. He did a very, very good job to pull the PNP back into contention and create a balance in the in Parliament. And this is going to be one of those terms that there's going to be a lot of representations on both sides, how they work together to get things done for the Jamaican people, and especially those who are less fortunate or at the lower end of the earning scale, uh, um, is yet to be seen. There's a lot that was promised over the last two terms that were not realized. There were some big promises made by Prime Minister Andrew Honus for the third term. Well, let's see how that works out. There's a lot to deal with moving forward, and we hope that for the people's sake, that this was not more of the same. These promises have to be kept. There's a lot of poor people who are suffering, and they're feeling the brunt, and hence why you see 67% of the registered voters did not vote. So that's the proof in the pudding here. There's not a lot to rejoice about at this point, because it could have been a different outcome if you had the majority of the voter base turnout. So it could have gone either way. As I said, congratulations to the Jamaica Labour Party, and also congratulations to the People's National Party, who also did a marvelous job to turn out many of those voters for each party. So it is over. It is not over in terms of being fully concluded until the magisterial count is done, and that is ratified, and then you'll see uh, you'll see what the actual number pans out to be. But for right now, it's 3429 to the JLP, and we say congratulations to them. So let's get back to the panel here, and let's hear what they have.
Celebrating. So the prime minister is still to speak, but what we're seeing is a lot of the key people, key officials in the parties coming up and speaking before he does. And just to remind you, I have been here throughout the evening with Emily Shields and Earl Moxham from the RGR Gleaner Group, and also with us from Young Jamaica, Ron Walsh, as well as Clifford James from the PNP-YO. Thank you all so much for having been with us throughout the evening. We're not done yet. We still have the Prime Minister's victory speech to go, all right? So just hold on for that. And let me see, next, of course, as we said, over the next few days is going to be the finalizing of the count. And then after that, we start to see the admin work being done, the putting together of the cabinet. Let's see who is going to stay in the cabinet, whether some of the older members will continue, or whether we're going to see a more shaken up cabinet now.
I think what you may see is continuity for a couple of years, and then some of the older members of the cabinet then transition out. That's my thinking. I think I've seen that sort of approach in the past, rather than going for just broad changes at the beginning.
Of course, as well, with 34 is still a decent number, but of course it's reduced from the kind of huge number that he had in the previous administration with 49 MPs, and then of course he can pick up the 4 from the Senate as well.
I put it to you, for example, that Ed Bartlett, who has been widely regarded as a quite successful tourism minister,
yes,
I would expect him to continue in that capacity in the cabinet.
Yes.
Horace Chang at National Security.
Delroy Chuck can probably sit it out.
No. You think?
Yes. Yes, he's on his last term, and I think there are a lot of young people there who can take it up and run.
And just to be clear, when I said no there, that had nothing to do with my personal opinion. It's based on what I've been hearing from people around him. It sounds as if he's still raring to go.
I think there will be a blend.
Of the young and the old.
Yeah, I think there will be a blend.
I think by now the Prime Minister has developed the capacity to speak to some of these senior members in terms of when he wants to make a change.
Right.
Somebody had said to me that they never thought he would have been able to successfully move Nigel Clark into that former Derek Smith constituency without a huge fallout, and he did manage. So he clearly has the political chops. Absolutely.
Not only that, I think Andrew Holness has really stamped his mark on the Jamaica Labour Party. He's fully in charge of this party at the moment, and I suppose too he is able to sort of recant or take back a view he held. So for example, in North Central St. Andrew, in Casamuta's old constituency, where they appear to have endorsed Christian Tavares Finson to be the candidate there, and there was a bit of furore on the ground, and Delano Seawright the entire process was recalled, and Seawright put in. So he has his hand on the wheel, but he's not unprepared to step back and to redo if there is some sort of disruption. And he now has Delano Seawright there, who is able to to do a lot, continuing with Ed Bartlett in the Ministry of Tourism Ministry and so forth. As I said, for me, Delroy Chuck has been good at justice because he's brought a lot in terms of lobbying for the judiciary and the budget. But there are some younger people now. He's on his 7th term and final term. We need to be looking at a new breed of young people in a GLP cabinet who can look at putting up a good fight for the next election.
At the same time, we're going to be looking to see who Golding puts in his shadow cabinet. He now has more choices in terms of people who will be in the lower house and who will therefore be able to speak in the lower house. So for instance, what we had over the past few months was an Alfred Dawes who was not sitting in parliament, but was a spokesperson on health. You know, so Dawes has now won his seat. So we'll certainly be hearing him on the floor of the parliament. Tell me what you're expecting, Clifford.
I mean, I expect the shadow cabinet to remain similar to how it is right now, but I think just have greater impact on the policy instead of like just having somebody outside who's not in parliament talking. They're in parliament, they can go toe to toe with the government counterpart. As for example, the security minister, if Peter Bunting wins as opposition spokesperson on security, he has that ability now to speak directly to her and give his.
While we're waiting for the winner of the 2025 general elections, as Prime Minister Andrew Holness, the incumbent, has won. The JLP has taken the election 34 to 29 to the PNP. Nothing to write home about here, and there's no celebration. There's a divided country that he has to preside over, and now it's an uphill battle to also realize all his promises that he has made on the campaign trail. At the moment, the opposition leader, that's Mr. Mark Golding, has made his concession speech. We also have the magisterial recount that's going to be done on a number of seats that were close. We'll see if the numbers hold as the hours and days come, and we'll see how that pans out. However, at this point in time, we say congratulations to the Jamaica Labour Party. Well done. Well done. The Prime Minister is about to speak here, so we're waiting for the Prime Minister to come up and make his victory speech, and also the speech that will reunite the country at this point in time. It is an uphill battle. The Jamaican economy is only growing just about 1%. There's a lot of poor people that are disgruntled. 67% of the voters did not turn out to vote. Only 33% of the voters were represented, as according to the early numbers that we're looking at. So that in itself tells that there is a lot of disgruntlement in the country. Therefore, it could have gone either way if the numbers had went up. But at this point, in Parliament, there's going to be a divide, and we can see there's going to be a much more balanced Parliament coming into the next term. However, as we wait for the Prime Minister to come on and make his speech, I'll say congratulations to all those who turned out and voted, and also those who were undecided. 67% of them well, and I wouldn't say undecided, but did not turn out to vote. I wonder why you did not participate. I would love to hear from you. Whoever you are, you can always call in future shows to tell me why you didn't vote, or you can send a message in and we can look at that. But in any way you look at it, there is also the notion that the voter registration list has to be purged. I'm not too sure if that was done. Well, the commentators on TVJ and also other medias have said this, and it would appear as if 67% of the registered voters did not turn out to vote. And however, the 33% that turned out, it was a close race, 34 to 29, and there's still some seats that are looked at as being extremely close. I mean, double digits. You're talking 10, 11 12 maybe in certain seats, and this is those will be recounted because they're so close, that ladies and gentlemen. So it could turn out that the numbers could change, but at this moment, the propensity of the winning votes are looking in favor of the JLP, which is now declared the winner. So 34 to 29, ladies and gentlemen, this is the count. We wait for the Prime Minister to come on and make his speech, and we say congratulations to the Jamaica Labour Party. The uphill battle starts here for the PNP. They have to now look into why they lost certain seats that were they should have really contested a lot better, and look to have won those seats. They're going to look into that. They have to then reorganize for the next election. They have an uphill battle to make sure the Jamaican population is looked after by the current administration. And here goes the Prime Minister.
There are two layers, as you
Okay,
said.
okay. Clearly, we're gonna, me and Emily going to have to pick that up another
will,
time. Right now,
yes.
let's go over to JLP headquarters where the Prime Minister is about to speak.
This bell is not an easy bell to ring. I wouldn't be surprised if Bustamante rang this bell. But I carried the symbol of the party today because it is such a historic moment that this is a victory for our founder, Bustamante, for Sir Donald Stanster, for Hugh Shearer, for Edward Philip George Tiaga, for Bruce Golding, and I want to invite Mrs. Carla Siaga to just come and acknowledge the moment and take a bow to the crowd, because all of this Mr. Siaga still, as well, he must be happy. So, Desmond, just you are only allowed to hold the bell temporarily. Do not ring it. I have a few things to say early on. Firstly, let me thank the thousands of Jamaicans who prayed for me personally and who prayed for the government and the country. I want to thank my wife and one of my sons is here, Adam. Come on, guy. Of course, the superwoman. And my mother. I want to thank them personally. I mean, you know, a political campaign, sometimes, you know, when they see the personalities, they forget that they are human beings with feelings and emotions, and they can be objectified. It's very difficult, but I want to thank my family here and abroad and all over who have withstood a tremendous onslaught, but they never gave up on me or on the people of Jamaica. I want to thank the political team. I think we have the best political team in the Caribbean. But allow me to, I do this at a risk, but I'm sure everyone will agree that my Deputy Prime Minister, Horace Chang, the General Secretary of the Jamaica Labour Party, deserves special commendation. You know, there's a special bond that has to be between the leader and the General Secretary of a political party. And Horace and I have been working for the greater part of 30 years together. We have been very good friends and very good professional associates. We have a mind share, and we are both very much committed to Jamaica, like everyone in the team. I want to thank you, the supporters. You would know how much you mean to me. For all of you who squeeze up on the bus to come to the meeting, who go on the long motorcades with us, for all of you who take on the PMP them when you hear them with the lights, but for all of you who have stood up and chosen Jamaica, I say thanks to you, the supporters of the party. You make us stronger, and we stand here on your shoulders. And thank you. God bless you, and I love you. Today, Jamaica won. Jamaica won this election. Yes, the majority of voters decided to choose Jamaica. Make no mistake about it. This was not victory by default. Make no mistake about it. This was not an easy victory. Make no mistake about it. This was a fight. But we did not descend my political organization. We did not descend to the gutter to fight. We did not seek to trick the people to win. We did not seek to tear down anyone to lift up ourselves. We did not seek to tear down Jamaica in order to be able to administer the affairs of Jamaicans. We ran a clean, disciplined, focused, well-organized campaign. And we proved that we can run a decent campaign and win And that is how Jamaica has won. That is how Jamaica wins. Our democracy by this election is proven to be intact. There are those who are trying to seal a view that the mere fact of a third term is a threat to democracy. There are those who are trying to carry the idea that regardless of how well a government performs and merits to be re-elected, it shouldn't happen because somehow that is a threat to democracy. Well, today has dispelled that because we went through the toughest battle in any democratic society in the region to stand here and say we will be the government for the third time. And I want that point to be understood. We contested the election with the highest level of decency and morality. The people came out. We do have our concerns about the turnout, but the people who voted, the majority spoke and chose Jamaica. So I am satisfied that our democracy is strong. But I wish to assure all Jamaicans who participated in the elections or who did not participate in the election that my government will continue to be respectful of, uphold and advance democratic institutions and protect the democracy of this country. There are some things that should be said. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Jamaica is at a special place today. It is an opportunity. For me, it was also a personal challenge. And I would just like to say, when you face challenges and you look for the opportunities, rise to the occasion. Look at yourself and know you're strong. No one can stop you. And after all the attacks, the lies, the rumors, the innuendos, I am still solid as a rock. They just can't stop me now. Now, in the third term, as in the first and the second, we must guard against arrogance. We must develop an even keener ears to listen to the people. We must be focused on addressing the needs of the people. And while it is clear that the majority have spoken and chosen the Jamaica Labour Party. Geographically and traditionally, there are still those who may not share and for varying reasons. One reason is they say, yes, we see prosperity in some areas, but they want prosperity to come now to their community, to their driveway, and to their doorway. This government, in our third term, must be laser focused on ensuring that there is prosperity for all Jamaicans. Prosperity doesn't mean riches. For some people, prosperity means peace. They want to live in peace. For some people, prosperity may mean their children getting to university. For some people, prosperity is a car. For others, it is a house. But for most people, it is the road fixed in their community and water in their pipe. And so, we must be focused on delivering these basic public services, which means prosperity for so many. But Jamaica is more than that. Jamaica is a potential to be realized. And for decades, we have underperformed. The story of Jamaica is that we have done so much as a country, but we could have done so much more. For the first time, an electorate has said, we will reward a performing government to continue to deliver the promise of Jamaica. The promise of cutting murders and crime and bringing Jamaica finally to peace, the peace which we had 60 years ago. We can have peace in our country. The promise of Jamaica being a growing and robust economy, which we had 60 years ago, we will continue to fulfill the promise of the growth of the Jamaican economy. We will continue to fulfill the promise of a knowledgeable, educated, and informed society, where every child can have access to the best quality education. We will continue to fulfill that promise. We will continue to fulfill the promise where every Jamaican can have meaningful employment and earn a meaningful income so that you can fulfill your own personal dreams and aspirations. We will continue to fulfill that promise. And we will continue to build a society that is just, a society that is fair for everyone. We will continue the work that we have started in our second term. Now, as I close my presentation to you, our political organization, like any other organization, must renew itself. The third term is also an opportunity for renewal, to attract new people, to expose new talent, to refresh ideas, and to place to the Jamaican people a continued, credible political organization that can always ably lead the government of the country. So we will not be laying back comfortable in victory. No. We will be rebuilding, refreshing, renewing, and preparing to be a credible alternative to the opposition for the fourth term of a Jamaica Labour Party government. Jamaicans, your democracy is strong. You have made the right decision to continue with a government that performs, because it sends a signal to governments to come that the way to win is by performing, by doing, by achieving victory by merit. Third, in our second term, we created a momentum. We are on the right path, heading in the right direction with the right trajectory. That should not be broken, and the Jamaican people share that view. And therefore, we will continue to use the momentum to accelerate the development of our country and to ensure that you can get the benefits and the aspirations that you have all wished for. And fourth, we commit to being a responsible, caring, and fair government. That is my commitment and the commitment of my team to you. We will be the political party to move Jamaica from poverty to prosperity. I continue to be your 1 PM.
So you heard the Prime Minister Andrew Holness with his victory speech, and also his unifying speech to the country of Jamaica, which was well done, and we say congratulations to him. A long and hard election battle ended up in a victory of a third term for the incumbent. That's the Prime Minister Andrew Holness. He has a lot of work to be done. Jamaica has to be healed, and he has a lot of promises to be kept. There's a lot of work to be done in the country to move the country forward, and we say congratulations to Andrew Holness on his victory, and we also say congratulations to the People's National Party for a hard battle to get to 29 seats, and we'll see if that if there's anything else that changes down the in the days to come. We had to block Ronald James. You can voice your opinion, but you have to be respectful. So this is the first person. Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show, has blocked off the show because of his comments, which was not appropriate at this time. We've seen an election that we've been covering fairly. We've gave our opinions. We've seen the voters come out and they've made their decision. And we say congratulations to the entire Jamaica for voting and choosing the person who will lead the country into the future, which is an uphill battle. And it's also a good look because the parliament is now balance, and it's better for the entire Jamaican populace. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, it was amazing to cover the election tonight and to have so many people chime in, like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. Keep this family-friendly show alive. This is your show, and we're here for you. You can always call in, send your messages in, and we're here for you. You know what I mean? So whatever we can do to make changes to make it better for you, always say just keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and clicking that notification bell to see when we come on live to you. So to all the people across the globe who listened in tonight, we had a record number of people who logged in to Nara Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. We say congratulations and thank you for doing so. We really appreciate our audience, and we say share it, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot more interesting stuff to come, and you can help us to make that change. All right, so we're asking you to do whatever you can to help us to continue to be here for you, and we keep the platform level all the time. You know what I mean? So the gentleman who was very facetious with his conversation, that's Mr. Ronald James. We have blocked you off the show, sir, and I hope next time you'll keep your comments on a balanced level. So we did not want to do this, but you cannot be. We won't accept certain standards on our platform. We want to keep it clean. It's for the people, and the people will dictate how we conduct ourselves, because you will be seeing us and listening to us. And I ask you to always comment, like, share, comment, and always click that notification bell. We say it was amazing to have so much people on the show tonight. We say thank you for being here. We'll be on Saturday. We hopefully will be on tomorrow. We'll see how things pan out between tomorrow and later. When I say tomorrow, I mean Friday and Saturday as well. So therefore, like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. We're at this point when we say we're going to move on to closing the show, and we're going to do it in a special, ladies and gentlemen. So we say always pray when you're going out. Pray when you're coming in. Always remember, God is in control. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here on Naram Promotions, a Real Deal podcast show. I'm yours truly, Ashamistic, GEORGEASHMEADE, those who know. And I'm here for you. There's more to come. We'll be covering U.S. immigration news and also local Jamaican, South Central Jamaican news. We say congratulations to the Jamaica Labour Party, the PNP National Party also. And we say congratulations to the Jamaican people for choosing who's going to lead them into the future. We are all Jamaican, and I love each and every one of you, and we're all citizens of the world. Each one is not better than the other, but together, united we stand, divided we fall. Trust God and live. Disobey and die. Death is for all of us, but seek your salvation. Keep your faith strong. And remember, God is always in control. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. Thank you. And we say we'll see you at the next show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Our promotions is at you.